My name is Chris Kabourek. I have the extreme honor and privilege as serving as the interim president for the University of Nebraska system. And what a great, great day we are here to introduce Troy Dannen and his family to Nebraska. I first want to say a few words of thanks to some really important people in the room. First of all, I want to thank all of our members of the Husker Athletic Department, our coaches, our staff, our student athletes, all of you, our friends and supporters. Days like this, it truly takes a village. And being a lifelong Nebraskan, I couldn't have done this without all of you. So sincerely, thank you for your support, for all the things you do for Husker Athletics. I need to thank my family, my wife, Jamie, my three boys, Aiden, Sam, and Charlie. I've learned when you go through a search like this, you got to give it all of your time and effort. And I essentially went into the bunker for several days and did not come out until we got this done. So I missed some baseball games, missed some family time, but you can't do this kind of job without a supportive family. So Jamie, Aiden, Sam, Charlie, I love you and thank you for letting me do what I love to do. When you do a search like this, you have to have a very close knit of people in your foxhole that you can trust and lean on and get counsel and advice. So I want to thank the Tiger team of people who gave me advice and input. That includes Chairman of the Board, Rob Schafer, Governor Pillen, Jamie Vaughn, our Husker Athletic Director of Compliance, and Coach Rule. They took my calls any time of the day, night, middle of the night, and I couldn't have done it without each and every one of them. Finally, I want to thank someone who I didn't know really well until I got into this unique situation. But this person has been a voice of calm, steady, capable leadership throughout this whirlwind in our latest chapter of Husker history. Someone who, when we asked him to serve, did not hesitate to step up. Someone who didn't want the spotlight, only wanted to support our student athletes, our coaches, and our staff through this transition. So please help me in join a big round of applause for Dennis LeBlanc and all that he did. March 13th, quite a day. Most of you know me, I'm a lifelong Nebraskan. I bleed Husker red, and I was as shocked as anybody in Husker Nation when Trev called me to give me the news he was moving on to Texas A&M. I sincerely appreciate all that Trev did. He made this place better, and I wish nothing but for him and Amy to have success in their new journey. But my team at Varner Hall, I'm a youth coach, I'm a referee, and my team hears me say this all the time. We can only control what we can control. Wasn't a time to look in the rearview mirror, but to look forward on the path before us. So I gave myself about an hour to digest the news after I talked to Trev, and then I only did what I know Nebraskans do. I rolled up my sleeves and I got to work. And I know you've read a lot about different leadership searches going on at the University of Nebraska. And I think it's really easy to conflate one with the other. But each and every search follows its own process. Whether it's a president, which takes a very long time, it's like a marathon, almost like the Daytona 500, when maybe you tune in just to watch the crashes or the last 3 laps. But what I learned about the athletic industry, it's a sprint. Not only a 40-yard dash sprint, but maybe a 10-yard dash sprint. Top fuel funny card, green light and go. And so I knew we had to move fast, very, very fast. I knew we couldn't stand still. And it's thanks to the people in this room, our staff, our coaches, our student athletes. There is so much momentum going on in this athletic department in this state. it was no time to hit the pause button. We're doing great things, from our basketball program that just gave us an exhilarating March Madness run, to the amazing start our baseball, softball teams are off to. I don't need to explain what our women's soccer program did or the volleyball program did last fall. And I know what Coach Rule is going to do for our football program going forward. Not to mention what Dennis and everybody in the athletic department did for our student athletes and the success in the classroom. I may be in the interim role, but I am fortunate that the Board of Regents entrusted me with the full authority as the president to move quickly and be decisive on this athletic director search. And that's a good thing, because when we have momentum and we have success and a leadership transition happens, guess what? People like Amy and Fred and our student athletes get calls about other opportunities at other institutions. So I'm very grateful for the Board of Regents and their support in Dennis and myself to be decisive in building the right team going forward. And I knew right away, I had a list of things I knew I was looking for in our next athletic director. Someone that had Nebraska work ethic. Someone who was smart, strategic, who was aligned with our vision for excellence across the institution. Someone who wouldn't need a lot of hand-holding or onboarding, who could get right in the room with Big Ten and NCAA leaders and be a leading voice in these conversations about the changing landscape in college athletics. Someone with football experience, football chops, who could be a great partner to Coach Rule as we bring Husker football back to national prominence. Someone who would fight for our student athletes and our coaches. And maybe most important, someone who wants to be on Team Nebraska. Someone that sees what we have going on here and wants to be a part of it. Who recognizes that Nebraska is a special, special place with special people. Who understands what a privilege and a responsibility it is to wear the red N. And it's going to represent the University of Nebraska with pride, integrity, and competitiveness. Ladies and gentlemen, in Troy Dannen, we found that person. As I said last week, I was overwhelmed by the interest we got from across the country in our position. That affirmed to me that Nebraska is on the map. Nebraska is a power player. And I took many, many opportunities for phone calls. But over and over again, Troy came to the top of my list. Troy is someone with deep Midwest ties, with football chops, who wants to compete and win in all facets. When we spoke, I saw right away Nebraska would be a good fit for him and his family, and vice versa. He grew up on a farm. He knows how to work hard. He's a fighter. He's worked at institutions with less resources. He brought academic excellence up and how our vision to get back in the AAU resonated with him. He has Big Ten experience and is deeply engaged in the complex issues in Division I athletics. I'm a big destiny person. Sometimes the stars just simply align for you, and I saw that with Troy. And in searches like these, when you sense that you're getting the green light, when you sense that you have the right person and that they're movable, you got to put the hammer down and go for it. And that's what we did. So about 4 a.m. last Wednesday, Troy and I reached a deal, and I knew it was sealed in my mind that we had the right person, because I asked Troy, when do you want to start? And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm starting today. I'm going to go to football practice. Get me to Lincoln. I'm going to go to football practice. Then I want to be in Memphis to support Fred and the men. And then I want to come back and watch the softball and baseball games on Saturday. And then we're going to go to Corvallis and root on the women's team. And it's exactly what he did. That's the kind of work ethic I know Nebraskans are going to embrace. So Troy, Amy, Ellie, and William, we're going to bring you up here in a few minutes, but we're so glad that you're here. And we can't wait to see what you're going to do for the University of Nebraska. This is the start of a great chapter in Husker athletics. But before we do that, I want to invite a couple of people up to make some welcoming remarks. So first, on behalf of the Board of Regents, please let me introduce Chairman Rob Schafer from Beatrice.
Good afternoon, and thank you for sharing the podium, Chris. It's an honor. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to Troy and Amy and their family. Thank you for becoming Huskers. Just looking at you reminds me of looking at a picture of Bob Devaney. So let's hope you turn out great things like Coach Devaney did. So I know Governor Pillen knew Coach Devaney. I never had that privilege, but wow, what a great day for all Nebraska and Huskers. I'd like to just say that at the Board of Regents, we have complete confidence in President Kabourek and his selection of Troy, and that we know that under Troy's leadership, Husker athletics are going to be in great hands and going to go out and accomplish great things. As chairman, I could not be more pleased with the effort and the speed and the manner in which President Kabourek conducted this search. Let's give another round of applause to President Kabourek. You know, and just this last week, I've been asked whether we as a board felt comfortable empowering an interim president with a search of this magnitude. And I will tell you, my response to that is astoundingly 100% yes, absolutely. Chris, again, did a fantastic job, and we had complete confidence in his abilities. So again, thank you. A little bit more about Chris. You know, he's a passionate person, and he's even more passionate about the Huskers and his family. He's been involved in athletics, you know, himself as a competitor growing up, and still today as a referee for high school and college sports. He knows exactly the kind of leadership and qualities that we need in Husker athletics, and he found it here today in Troy. So when our AD job came open, we knew that in President Kabourek's hands, that he was going to make a sound decision and a lasting decision that is going to affect Nebraskans and our athletic teams for hopefully generations to come. We want you here, and we want you here for the long haul. So with that, I'd have to say that Chris did an outstanding job. We're so excited to have Troy Dannen and his family here and to be the leaders now of Husker Nation. And Chris, we'd just like to thank you again one more time for all the hard work you put into this. And just like to extend a thank you also then to all our coaches and staff and the friends of Husker Nation, to Governor Pillen, the members of the Board of Regents, and just the coaches and players and everybody who makes this thing work, because it really is not a one-man show on anything we do in Nebraska. It's a team effort, a collective effort. And what we've all found out is it takes all of us on board if we're going to go out and accomplish great things. So with that, I would say not only go Big Red, but go be great. Thank you.